Hi, guys and girls. So let's get into it. Today we will start making some money. Episode 4: How to earn interest on your tokens. And yeah, let's just jump into it. We prepared a small disclaimer basically. So maybe you know South Park, and there is this super interesting, funny scene where there's basically this banker, and he says, "Okay, we take your money, we buy bonds with it, we sell stocks with it, and there's an equivalent to this crypto space." And it's all gone. And yeah, this is not what we're looking to do. We want to generate some safe yield, some good yield, and we will start with lending and staking. This is pretty much the the safest route that you can go down to earn interest on your tokens. So we don't want to be this guy. We don't want to say, and it's gone. It might happen one day, but if we stick to everything we talk about today, I think you have a really good starting point. So this is the small agenda. We will talk about what is lending, quick explanation, what is staking. Then we will talk about how to find good yield. This is super complicated, but I have an idea. We have an idea, and I would like to introduce you to it. Then we take a look at lending out USDC, and then we take a look at the staking. So we go to practical examples, so you have a good starting off point. Let's talk about real quick what is lending. So lending is basically you lend out your tokens and you get a yield on it, deducted by some fees. Those fees are quite small depending on the protocol. We will take a look at this as well. And there are different types of lending, but we will stick to single asset lending. So let's say, for example, you have USDC. We will take a look at USDC. You can basically lend out a USDC and you get an APY, so a yearly interest rate on it, and you have to pay some fees, and this is basically your return, what gets out of it. The interest rate which you get on your USDC is variable, and you can imagine it like this. So let's say you put your USDC in a pool, so you lend it out, and the utilization rate is pretty high, so people want to borrow your USDC. Then you will get a higher interest rate, and those utilization is basically coupled to a curve, and this curve is you can imagine it like this, for example. At the start, when there is slow utilization, you have a pretty low interest rate, but the higher the utilization rate gets, the higher your APY gets, and yeah, we will take a look at this in upcoming videos. The question is how you get paid actually, and you get paid basically when you lend out your USDC, you get a token from the protocol itself. So in this example, we wrote down TU USDC. So when you deposit your USDC into Tulip, for example, you get TU USDC, and you get paid interest in TU USDC. So your TU USDC balance rises, and as soon as you want to get your USDC back, you basically give them this TU USDC, and you get more USDC back. The important stuff is, let's imagine that there's a really high demand for your USDC that you put in. You get a really good APY. People want to borrow your stuff. It might be that you can't withdraw your USDC, you can't get it back due to a high utilization. This is one of the risks. There are multiple risks. The upside is that you get really high yield when the situation occurs, but take this into consideration and yeah, take a look at the documents. This is just a rough explanation of the whole process. The next one, what is staking? So staking is pretty similar to lending actually. You can take the framework like we discussed on lending. You basically stake your tokens. You give them to some kind of protocol, and then you get a yield on those stake tokens deducted by some fees usually. We take a look at a single asset staking. You could also stake multiple assets, but the main difference between lending and staking is part of the proof of stake algorithm. So there is this proof of work algorithm where you have to basically solve puzzles by putting in energy, for example, to solve those really complicated puzzles. What Bitcoin does, for example. But there are also those proof of stake chains where you basically stake your coins and then you participate in the network and you help them to validate transactions. So new blocks get basically created. You get rewarded basically most of the times in the token itself. So let's say you put in 1 SOL and you have a 10% APY. After 1 year, you have 1.1 SOL, but some protocols also pay you in their own token. So let's say, for example, that you lend out 1 SOL and you get 10% APY plus, let's say, another 10% on their native token. So at the end of the year, you have 1.1 SOL and the equivalent of 10% of this value in their own native token. So let's say the tulip token, for example, just to give you one example. Okay, now we come to the really important and interesting stuff: how to find good yield. And this is actually a really complicated topic out there. You can put your money into yield aggregators, and they basically take a cut out of your deposit. But I would like to introduce you to my co-host Mark. And Mark is you can find him over on Twitter. He is called Ovu, and Mark is a math genius from my point of view. He's really good at math, really good at data and facts. And he's publishing once a day this sheet. You can find it on Twitter, so please follow him if you want to, where he basically scrapes through all of the protocols, and he takes a look at, okay, how are those APYs right now? What is in demand? What gives you good yield? So you can take a look, where are the best lending and staking protocols. So we will take this in following episodes as well, because this is really awesome, and there is no real comparison out there to find good yields. There are some protocols which are not that transparent. Let's say Sunny Aggregator, for example, where you can put in your money and you get a yield. But if you want to be the creator of your own destiny, basically take a look at this, learn this, and we will take a look at this. So yeah, this is how the sheet looks. And now we will take a look at the sheet. I will take you through how to set it up, and then we actually take a look at how to lend out your soul and stake your soul, so you have a good starting point. But you can play around with the sheet a lot. For now, we will take a look at lending and staking. So yeah, see you in a second in the sheet, and I will guide you through it. Okay, as you can see, we are now over here on Twitter, and we opened the protocol of Ovu. This is Mark. And when you scroll through his feed, you basically find those tweets basically every single day. And if we take a look at this, we basically get to the Airtable one, which gives us the overview of all the yields right now. This takes a second. And now we see that there are some crazy farms out there, some crazy APR, but those are the real Degen ones. We don't want to go into those things. I will take you through how to find your best yield for USDC for now. And this is quite simple. We just need to get familiar with this. At first, it might sound a bit confusing, but the longer you use it, the more you get used to it. And as always, when you have some feedback, when you have some ideas, when you have some thoughts, when you see something that's missing, jump into our Discord, let us know. We want to be your guide through the yield space. And yeah, I will show you real quick how you can find the best lending out yields for USDC. So we start with the filter, and we add a condition where, and then we go at basically at how to invest. And then we have any of single-sided lending. We just tick this box, and then we see, okay, the most protocols here are single-sided staking. And then we can take a look at filter. We add another condition, and pair contains USDC. We put this in, and then we end up with this one. So as you can see, this sheet is built up like this. On the left, you have your protocol. The protocols are basically the names of the protocols. We will take a look at a Francium in a couple of seconds. But for now, you can take a look at, okay, those are the yields we could get on different protocols. And we see that we could actually get the 20% on Pole Finance. I do know Pole Finance, and I don't feel that comfortable putting my money in there right now. So I want to be a good role model for you. So we will take a pretty more established farm. Yeah, total value locked means basically what is the total value locked in the protocol, and this is the number, and the higher the number there is, the most likely, the more Lindy effect it has, so the more secure it is. We will get 7.7% on our USDC, and we just have to do single-sided lending. And we will now head over to Franken, and I will show you how to do it. We just go here, put in Frankium in there, we let it load for a second, then we click on Launch App. This will take us to the app. We just have to connect our Phantom wallet. Okay, now our wallet is connected, and as soon as our wallet is connected, we basically get to this view. And on Frankium, there is a lot of things you can do. You can go about leverage yield farming. You can do yield farming itself. You can take pseudo-neutral strategies, stuff like this. But we will take it really simple for now. we just click on lending. And as you saw, so in the table gets updated every 24 hours roughly. So those numbers are not in real time. And as you can see, the APY got actually a little bit up. So the APY is 8.11%. There are 128 million USDC locked in this contract. 71 million gets borrowed, and the utilization rate is right now 55%. And if those utilization rate would get up to, let's say, 90%, 95%, the APY would skyrocket. You could compare it to USDT. The USDT is in pretty higher demand right now, 5% higher, so the APY is also higher. But for now, we want to keep it simple. We just click on deposit. Then we see, okay, I prepared about 10 USDC for this small demo. And then we can basically put in whatever we want. Let's say for now we want to put in 1.337 USDC. We basically click on deposit. Our Phantom wallet will pop up. And then we basically see, okay, 0.0091 SOL would get deducted from our account. We have to open up an account to interact with the protocol. We could get this feedback later on. And the USDC we will deposit, we will get deducted 1.337 USDC. We click on approve. We will need to wait a second until the transaction is confirmed. Transaction confirmed. Now we have to wait a second until my position gets loaded. And as you can see, our position is 1.336996. And we could also now add to our position. We can withdraw our position. Super, super simple. For now, we just leave it in, and we see that we get 8.12% APY. Now we'll take a look at how to stake your SOL. And it's pretty similar. We just head over to filter. We click on add condition, where how to invest has any of. In this case, at the time of the recording, we need to click on single-sided lending. I know we talked about single-sided staking. We need to improve this protocol a little bit, and you need to add a single-sided staking. And then we add condition where pair contains SOL. And we let it wait for a second, and then we basically see, okay, those are our opportunities. We see that we can get 9.3% APY on APR on Frankium. And as a quick explainer, the difference between APY and APR is the following. So let's say, for example, you have $1 and you basically reinvest this dollar basically every year. So let's say you get 10% yield. After 1 year, you have 1.1. And if you take this 1.1 and you reinvest in it, the next year you have 1.21. So it gets compounded. And this is basically the difference between APR and APY. You can basically take your deposits there and compound them. Not in every single case. Sometimes the protocol does it on their own. But if you ever were a little bit puzzled between APR and APY, this is basically the effect. In some protocols, you can take your rewards, you reinvest them, and then you basically have a higher yield at the end of the year. So for now, we will take a look at Tulip, because it would make more sense to go into Frankium. As you can see, the APR is higher, but I want to show you a little bit around. So now we will take a look at Tulip. You can find Tulip under tulip.garden, and if you take a look at this page, you see that they have roughly $900 million locked right now. So they are some of the usual protocols over there on Solana. We just simply click on launch app. We want to take a look at this tab, so landing. And now we see that there is a Solana SOL token right here. The APY is 7.35% right now. And if I put myself a little bit down, we see that the total supply is roughly 200,000 Solana. This is 40 million. And the borrower is roughly 20 million. And as you can see, the utilization right now is roughly 50%. And as soon as we connect our wallet, I will do this real quick right now, you actually see that I deposited some SOL in there a couple of days before. But for now, I will run you through it. Let's put just a small amount in there. Let's say 0.2 SOL. It's super, super simple. We just click on deposit. Now we see how our balance would basically differ after we did this. So we would get deducted 0.20 SOL. And this is the thing I talked about a couple of minutes ago. We will basically get this yield-bearing token. So we would get back 0.01967 TU SOL. And the longer we let it in there, the more TU SOL we would get back. And now, as you can see, this will confirm. And now you see that our deposit has decreased a little bit. We could also withdraw it. But yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, I hope you got a good overview on how to deposit your deposit your USDC. If you have any questions whatsoever, jump into our Discord, leave a comment. Yeah, let us know what you think. In the next video, we will take a look at yield farming, so we will get a little bit more down the rabbit hole. So yeah, guys, I hope that was helpful. Yeah, see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.